Hey guys, today another sunny day in western Nevada. We're going to continue on the boat. In the last episode we built a outboard engine stand, or engine motor stand, whatever you want to call it. Now we have to get this thing off. I borrowed a engine hoist that you would use for automotive application, like a little cherry picker. But the problem was, how do I hoist this thing? Some people use straps around the power head. I didn't like that. You can buy hoist rings that attach to the flywheel or to the end of the crankshaft, and I figured I can make one myself. Here, let me take the hood off real quick. So at the very top here, the flywheel, the crankshaft is sticking out, and it's threaded, at least on this model, 3/4 16, so it's a 3/4 inch thread, fine thread. And I was able to find a nut at my local hardware store that's exactly that thread size, 3/4 16. And then I bought a 3/4, regular threaded, I think that's 3/4 10, kind of a, what is it, a coupler, and then welded those two together, removed all the coating, the zinc coating and all that, and then gave it a good hot, weld all around. And then I bought one of those galvanized little hoist rings here. It doesn't have a weight rating on it, but this thing is pretty beefy. I mean, if this is gonna have a problem, then we're gonna have a problem. And now this thing fits into my self-made little contraption here. I'll tighten that all the way down so we're not gonna lose the motor. And then this end, the welded on nut, fits right onto the crankshaft here at the top. I might shorten the hoist ring a little bit so I can not have it stick out that far. So shorten it down a little bit, and then tighten this all down nicely, and maybe I even clean it up before I do that. And then we have to disconnect everything, the control cables, the steering has to be disconnected, pulled apart, and then we have to undo the 4 bolts. But we're going to do that when the engine is already supported by the cherry picker. So once the bolts come loose and come out, the engine doesn't fall to the ground. This thing weighs about 230 pounds, and we don't want to, risk anything. At the moment, I have it propped up a little bit here on a piece of 2x4 so that the lower unit doesn't hit the pavement, but it actually doesn't. It's just this far off the ground. I have the trailer propped up in the front so that any kind of rainwater immediately runs into the bilge area. But yeah, now I have it supported on a 2x4, so there's really the weight is supported by a 2x4 on the ground. I'm gonna get started disconnecting everything, and I'll take you along. Alright guys, like I said, we first have to get everything off: steering, the controls, and the wiring that goes in here. And then we might also have to, what do we have over here? Oh yeah, fuel line, of course. So fuel line, that's going to be easy. Just has one spring clamp on it. And then we can pull that off, I hope. Yep. And then rescue the spring clamp. I like spring clamps better than the someone's just taking the toys out. Spring clamp like it better because they keep tension on the fuel line. So when the fuel line gets old and shrinks, then the tension of that spring clamp just continues to squeeze down on it. Alright, let's see what we need to do here. We are taking the controls off here. The control cables is going to be also very simple. We just need to take, yeah, let me show you. Show ya. Oops, sorry. You guys are leaning a little bit. So here's the fuel line. That's the fuel filter and going into the fuel pump, and then this line goes to the carburetor. The ends of the control cables, they just have a little spring retaining thing that goes over a little ball that also could be greased up occasionally. Oh, that doesn't fit. And then the other end of the cable is just held on by some, it's almost like a P-clip. There's some gunk on it. There was a mouse nest in this engine block already, or the engine case here. I already vacuumed it out. Let me grab a screwdriver. I don't think we need to really take them loose. Do we need to take them loose? Maybe. Take them out all the way. I just don't want to lose anything. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's hinged. So put the screw back in. US Marine was sold through Mercury, if I'm not completely mistaken. It used to be, Force used to be a Chrysler product, but then I think they sold their boat engine division to Mercury, and then they phased them out in the early 2000s. I want to say maybe 2006, but I'm not an expert on, outboard engine history. Okay, so I have the two control cables loose. Now we can just pull them out to the front. And really afterwards figuring out which cable goes where is not that hard. So one does the throttle and one does the gear shifting, and you just have to move your control box and see, the first inch or so of travel is just putting it in gear, and then after that you're only moving the throttle. So you just have to, look at it, find out which one goes where. It's not that hard. Okay, so this side, I think we can keep the cable that goes to the power trim down here. We can keep that in there. Don't need to disconnect stuff that we don't need to disconnect. The screws are back in. Good. Now let's go over here. There's a lot of wiring going in here. So 3 big cables. One is positive from the battery, one is negative from the battery, and then the other one is all those little colored wires coming from the control box. So the push to choke and the ignition on, and then engaging the starter. Here, you guys are standing in the way a little bit, so like that. So now we just need to make sure I'm not, okay, we're gonna take all these loose, but before we do that, snap a picture. Take the good old-fashioned cell phone out and take a picture, or else we might not remember how they go on there later in life. Okay. Most of them are color coded, so red goes to red, orange goes to orange, green to green, and so on. But for example, the blue one down here doesn't have a corresponding one. I have a manual, but I like to work without manuals if I can. So we're just gonna take them loose, and they all should be slotted, yeah, like that. So you can just take the screw loose, you don't have to take it out, and then you can just pull the terminal out like that. Purple, white, green. Here on the side is even written what they do on the sticker here on the side. Can you see more? Yeah, down there. Yellow is start, gray is tachometer, or gray or purple. So it's actually pretty easy to figure out which goes where. But it always helps to have a picture around. You know, since everyone is carrying a cell phone these days, it would be silly not to. Oh yeah, of course I have no battery connected. Oh, this one is going to be a little bit of a pain in the patootie. Do I have to get an angle screwdriver, really? Whew. Okay, you guys, hold the fort down, okay? So, I have this one here, Harbor Freight, made in Taiwan. It's a ratcheting little angle screwdriver, and you just put bits in here, or this little stubby. The stubby might still be a little long, but it also just takes regular bits. Works. Since we only have to take it loose. You know, those two come in handy pretty often. Okay. That's the last terminal here of this terminal block. Come on, there you go. So that's that. And then there are a couple more. They are plugged in here underneath the starter, and they go to a relay. So, and I think these just unplug, maybe? Do they? They should. They are clipped in place. I don't want to break those clips. But I guess we will have no choice to try to take them apart. There's probably a specialty tool for this, to open the clip and then at the same time be able to pull it out. Another tool needed. Alright, let's do that. Two clips, one on each side. I always unclip one and then the other clips back in. It's lovely. But I think we're gonna make it eventually. Maybe we can put some tension on it like that. There you go. So that's one. They're also color coded, blue with a white line and green with a white line. Yeah, here we go. That was easy enough. So I think we already liberated one of the biggest wire. There's a zip tie on it holding it together. Just way down there. If we can snip that off. Lots of gunk in here. I wonder, this is all mouse poop. If I can get to it, that would be great. Okay. Once I have the control cables and the wiring out of the way, I might actually give this a little engine block wash, or we can do that once it's on the engine stand. I guess it's not that big of a deal. Right, pull the big one out. Now, coming out. There you go. Don't rip anything. Don't damage anything. Alright, now we have to take 2 big terminals loose for the ground and the positive cable here. Maybe I take the 2 relays out of the way and just have them dangle on the outside here. Just don't want to drop screws or bolts. Yeah. Alright. Those 2. Maybe I should get a magnetic tray of some sort or description. Can you guys see what I'm doing down there? No, not 7/16. So that's positive. There's a spider crawling around. Nice. It's perfect weather to work on a boat. And then where does this go? Oh yeah, it goes to the engine block. How do we get to that? It's 1/2 inch. Now I need a socket. Do I? Yeah, need a socket. Alright, you guys hold the fort down. It's right down in there. 1/2 inch. That's probably where the spider lives. There's a lot of spider webs around that bolt. Probably likes the electricity. Yeah, the carburetors are so smeary on the outside. There's all this gunk stuck to it. I wonder what the story is about that. We're gonna give this a wash before I even start doing anything to this. Alright, so we have a few more terminals. I think I'm going to put those 2 back on there because we don't need to take those loose. They are internally. They are not exiting the engine. So just gonna feed this out and stick that back in the threads. Just loosey goosey. And then once we have it on the engine stand, I'm gonna try to, do all the work to the engine, compression test, carb cleaning or rebuild if I can get a rebuild kit, and then actually connect the power, the control box and the wiring and all that back to it so that I can start it on the engine stand. This needs a wash. This is disgusting. This is probably mouse vomit or poop. Good thing I put some gloves on. It's the rare occasion. This is Bosch. Good stuff. Wonder if it's made in Germany. Oh no, I'm much happier. There is some mouse disgustness on these wires, but I haven't found a single chewed up wire, which I'm really happy about, because mice usually they gnaw off the insulation and then you know, then you're busy the next few hours trying to fix all the wiring. And yeah, they haven't done that. Is there another zip tie in the way? Oh, here's a metal clip. I wonder where that's supposed to go. Oh, I see it. So apparently there is a kind of like a P-clip metal version that's supposed to be like a strain relief. It wasn't mounted. It was not even attached. But we know it's there. We can put it on when we reassemble all this. More modern engines, they have connectors for all this. So it's really just a matter of plugging things in instead of undoing terminals and stuff. But yeah, now we have this all out. Really no big deal. We have the fuel line out. We have the control cables out. Now the only thing missing, well, left to disconnect is the steering cable that needs to come out of the engine bracket. So it literally goes through here. There are some grease fittings and then hooks onto this arm. All right, and we're gonna take it loose. Now, of course, not 1/2 inch. As a teenager, I helped out at a boat shop back in Germany. Kunkel. I don't even know if they're still in business, if that business is still around. But yeah, that was fun. They always had something for me to tinker on. I wasn't the most reliable teenager back in the days. My work ethics wasn't the greatest. I like the getting paid part. But yeah, not so much the part being on time, being there, being available. But I learned a lot, especially working with the old masters, Friedhelm and Lutz. Hi Friedhelm, hi Lutz. Hope you guys are doing well. As you can see, Heiko's back on the boat. I used to own my father's old boat, kind of inherited it when he died. But then I quickly realized, man, boats are always just a lot of work. And as a young adult, in my 20s, no, actually, yeah, early 20s, didn't have the time nor the motivation to constantly tinker on my boat. So, can you guys see the other side of that? So the control cable coming from the steering wheel is literally pushed through a tube, and then here's a big aluminum nut on the end. We'll see if we can actually feed this out, because the piece that goes through the engine bracket here is rather stiff, and we kind of have to feed it back into the hull here on the side to get it out. We'll see. Or maybe it's even stuck in there. Oh no, it's moving. It doesn't sound good what I'm doing back there. What is the crunchy noise? I don't even know what it is. It sounds like a mouse nest back there. It's in the way. Is this the... What is pinched here like that? Oh, that's the cable. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh yeah. Let's see. When you turn the steering wheel one way or the other, no, that extends the end. Okay, we need to turn the other way so that this cable retracts as far as it can. Like that, and then we should be able to pull it out, at least for the most part. Lots of old grease. Alright, get it. I'm gonna get some rags. Off we go. This is really actually in pretty good shape, considering that this boat was abandoned, sitting out in the open for so long. I've seen those cables being like completely seized in there, and the hole through the hull that the cable comes out of is not really very well lined up with what we're doing here. And there is a rubber boot around it, and I'm afraid that I might break this rubber boot, but it wouldn't be the end of the world, I think. We know that it's loose, so we're pretty good. We can hang the engine, move it over that way a little bit, and then we can pull the cable out, so I don't have to force anything. So we have everything disconnected. Control cables, they're pretty stiff. They have seen a lot of sunlight. Everything disconnected. Now I'm going to get the hoist over. We're going to set this up, and then I'm going to get tools to remove the 4 bolts that go through the transom. Yeah, my friend John lent me his cherry picker. Thanks, John. One fun. Let's see if that's enough capacity. Oh, that's gonna take a little while. Move this off. The cherry picker down at the bottom doesn't break off the top. I've always licked her. Oh, exhausting. Alright, let's see if this actually has a lift capacity, like a height to pull it up. Like he's coming home, or if we can get close enough to it without interfering with the... Oh, no, maybe. Don't break anything. Like that. Let's see if we can get high enough. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if we can get a little closer, because I don't want this to start swinging. I just want it to go straight up and hold it. Yeah. Okay, it's already hanging on it. It even lifts the boat. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Don't want to bang up the bottom, the lower unit. Yeah, let me show you. So let me take you off the tripod. You know, like that. Just don't want to bang up anything. And this is what it looks like now. So I ran it all the way down, tightened this up with a couple wrenches against each other, so this is not going to come loose. And it has a full thread, you know, full length of this nut on the crankshaft. So the crankshaft up there is long enough. So that looks good. And now I actually have a helper. My wife's going to help me hold the bolts from the outside while I crawl under there to get the bolts loose. Alright guys, now I have my helper, the wife. She's on the outside holding the bolts with a wrench, and I'm going to use a machine with a long extension. Oh, of course not. I need a deep socket. Hold on guys, I need to get a deep socket. Alright, so now I have a deep socket for both sizes. The bigger bolts up top that go through the top section of the transom are 3/4 wrench size, and the bottom one is 9/16. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Holding it.
Oh, it's pretty loose, huh?
That was pretty loose. And the nut is...
You want me to take the nut off?
No, it's a bolt. You have the bolt and you can...
You want me to take it off?
If you can, you need to pull it out. Here, watch out, I'll push. Ah, this is stuck a little bit. We might have to hammer those out. Don't worry about it. Let's take the other side off first. Okay, ready?
No.
Don't bend those hydraulic lines, please. Ready?
Yep. Really loose. It didn't even move one bit.
Yeah, they might be glued in. So I'm gonna get a hammer. I forgot my hammer. We're gonna take the bottom bolts out completely. Sorry, what did you say?
I said all these things are made in the USA.
Yeah, it's a Chrysler product, or I don't know, at the time when this was made, it was probably already owned by Mercury, which is also an American company. Alright, I'm going to try to push this out by hammering it out, so keep your fingers out of the way. Is it coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put a lot of polyurethane sealant on there to seal it into the transom so there's no water leakage.
Stop.
No,
Stop. I pull it. I pull.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you want me it to fall? No.
No,
okay.
can I? It's really hard still to push, so you're not going to pull this by hand. Now I'm going to do the other one. Oh man, maybe the other way around. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, here. You can try and just unscrewing it.
Yeah.
Here, use the machine. Put that on there. You need to take the other wrench out of the way,
No,
though.
don't worry about it. I got it.
Okay. Is it coming?
It doesn't turn at all. I have to pull it with this and turn it.
Here, let me try.
I have devised it so that I can use it to pull, but it's not coming.
There might be some rut in the transom too. Okay, so the two bottom ones we have out. Throw them right in here. Now we need the top one.
But I'd be in your way. Yeah, you probably don't need it at all. That bolt doesn't move one bit.
Okay. Alright, that's number uno. Take washer off, but you can stay here when we swing it over to the engine stand, that I have a second person here. Always getting stuck in there because of all this silicone stuff on the. There you go. All glued together. There's even a lock washer on there. And now my hammer. Okay.
You don't want to use that to pull it out.
Maybe soon. Watch out. Things might come loose now. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll try. Can I have it? And the engine, the mounting bracket is probably also gooped onto the transom. You know what? This one here might actually move by use of this. This seems to be bent. This one here, it's not straight. Oh yeah. Did you put the bolt back in the pan there?
What do you mean?
Like in here?
I didn't take the bolt out.
Oh, you haven't? I thought you got that one.
No, you asked for the wrench before I did anything.
Okay. Okay. Machine. And most everything out of the way. We got a screwdriver to maybe pry a little bit. Oh yeah. I can see some silicone movement here. Uh-huh. Other side. Okay, that's loose. Alright, now guys, I'm gonna move you around. Okay, so motor is loose. Let's check one last time that we have nothing attached anymore. This goes into the motor. The only thing that's still holding us back is the steering control cable, which we have to pull out to the side. Okay, I'm gonna take motor loose all the way so it's not stuck to the transom anymore. Oh, well. Oh my goodness. We put bathroom silicone on here. You always want to use marine grade polyurethane sealant. Always. Okay. Get the steering control out.
Even for freshwater usage.
For marine grade is marine grade. Let's see if I can turn the steering wheel a little more. No, that's it. That's as far as it will go. We have to swing the motor over that way.
Do you need me to do something?
Just stand there, look pretty for now. How long is this? Oh, here we go. Okay, steering disconnected. Motor is literally hanging on the hoist now. Now we can pull it up a little more, and then we're gonna pull it out.
How much does it weigh?
230 pounds.
Oh, that's stuck?
Yeah. I'm a little worried because I'm banging around with this. Can you?
I push this?
No.
I
You
hold that?
hold this a little bit, so it doesn't bang against this.
You want me to put something in between there?
No, it's okay. Okay. Hanging mid-air. Can you guys see? Okay guys, so let's see how we can finagle this here. There is some pine needles, spider webs. No, I can't because it's going to be hanging against this. So I need to take at least some of that grime off and the spider webs and the leaves. This looks really surprisingly good.
Do you want to use the compressor?
No, then it's just going to go all over the place.
Don't turn it or else it's going to hang into the...
No, I was turning the bracket only. Like that, so I can sneak the... Problem. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah,
I
see
can't
that.
get there. What are we
Go in
gonna...
between.
No, we have a bigger problem. Dang, what are we gonna do now? Hold on, how much higher do we need to get?
The width of the thickness of the board.
No problem. That's it. Engine's off, guys. A little bit of some struggling, but we managed. A little modification. So this brace, I don't even know if you guys can see this. So the bottom brace is here, that brace changed, and this is additional. So I could cut both braces out, and because I made the bottom of two 2x4s on top of each other, glued to each other, this is pretty sturdy. So this little T-shaped brace here is strong enough to hold it. And yeah, this aluminum bar, which was original here on the boat transom on the inside, this is giving it extra rigidity and spreads the load. So that's good. Now we just have to roll it out of the way. All right. Yeah. I should have bought the larger casters. The height is perfect. Height above ground is perfect. And if I keep the motor in the middle, I can even put it in gear without the prop going anywhere. I should probably secure this, like bolted here or something, so that the engine cannot change its orientation. But yeah, that's good. And now I'm going to put the foot back on. Oh, no, I'm not. I take that back. We need to first take the hoist ring back off of this. Yeah, self-built hoist ring. I love it, and it worked. Nothing happened. Alright guys, that's it for today. You guys take care. Have a good one. Bye.